Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Patrice, and in this video we will be discussing things I've read. And now let's get started. In this video I'm going to talk about 3 books that I picked up from the library, and I mentioned this before, but 2 of them were recommendations from Aaliyah from At Bookmark by Aaliyah, and they sounded interesting, so I wanted to read them too. The first book I'm going to talk about today is titled The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and this is a fantasy romance slash historical fiction, and I will read the summary. In a moment of desperation, a young woman makes a Faustian bargain to live forever and is cursed to be forgotten by everyone she meets. Thus begins the extraordinary life of Addie LaRue. But everything changes when, after nearly 300 years, Addie stumbles across a young man in a hidden bookstore and he remembers her name. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, I did not finish this. So to me, this book was very, very slow, and there was no action, and it was very boring. I remember Aaliyah saying that she had to put it down, and she just recently picked the book back up because she felt like she wasn't in a mood to read it. But I don't think that's what happened to me. Like, I like fantasy and I like reading fantasy novels, so that wasn't what it was for me. This was just really, really slow and boring. Like, we kept going back and forth between Addie's, like, before she made the deal with the devil, and then after she made the deal with the devil, and then to the present day. So, like, right now she is in New York in the present day, but then we kept getting like little pictures of what happened to her, like right before she made the deal, and which I understand, like, you're desperate and you wanted to make this deal, but I just, like, I couldn't even buy into like why she made this deal in the first place. It's like, girl, just pick up and move somewhere else. Like, you don't want to, you know, buy into the times of, the day of where like women had to get married and have children and all that stuff. And she kind of wanted to like live on her own terms and do what she wanted to do. So I'm like, pick up and move, like go somewhere else. Like, why did you even do this? So that was like the first thing that set it off for me. And I'm like, well, this doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to go with it. So I continued to go with it. And yeah, it was just like so boring. Like, even after she met the young man in the bookstore, his name is Henry, then we get like some of his backstory, and that was kind of boring too. And Addie, she did like a lot of whining, and she was just like very miserable. And like some of the things she had to do because no one remembered her. So, she had to do like a lot of things she probably wouldn't have had to do. And I'm trying not to spoil the whole thing, but she had to make some decisions just so she could survive. And we just kept going over and over it. It's like, yes, I get it. I understand. Like, she made this deal. We understand why she made the deal. Now let's get on with the story in the present day. Like, tell us why, this guy can remember her and everything. And I'm quite sure they probably did, but they just did not do it in the time that I needed them to hurry up and do it, because it just did not hold my attention. So I did not finish this one, and I don't think I will be going back to finish it. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Murder Takes a Vacation. This was written by Laura Lippman, and this is a cozy mystery. And the summary says, meet Muriel Blossom, a former private investigator and middle-aged widow. When Mrs. Blossom booked her cruise through France, she didn't expect to meet Alan on her flight. She also didn't expect Alan to be found dead 24 hours later in Paris. Now she doesn't know who to trust, and her questions only increase as she sails down the Seine. So let me give you a little background on this book. So this author was given criticism. I guess Mrs. Blossom shows up in her previous books, and she is the sidekick to a detective in the other series. So she was given criticism that she was kind of insensitive to writing about plus size characters and like their feelings and like just describing them in general. Um, so this book is to be her answer regarding that criticism. And if this is the answer, she was not listening to what those people had to say. So let me give you the likes first. So one thing that I liked about this book is that Baltimore is mentioned in this story. Like Mrs. Blossom has now moved from Arizona to Baltimore. So she talks about like the Inner Harbor and like some other like places that I am familiar with because that is where I was born and where I grew up. So that was a nice surprise to see Baltimore mentioned throughout the story. I also like that Mrs. Blossom is not your typical main character. So she is older, she's a widow, she's plus size. So that was nice to see. And I enjoy the setting, like a trip to France, going on a cruise in France. So it was nice to be able to go to like a different country in a place that I have not been in the story. Now, things that I didn't like. So Mrs. Blossom refers to herself. Now, see, I'm doing it myself. Her name is Muriel. Muriel refers to herself as Mrs. Blossom throughout the story. Mrs. Blossom is her married name, and she just goes on and on and on about her husband that died and how he was like the best thing since sliced bread and how she's not looking for another relationship and blah, 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 blah. So she goes on and on about her dead husband. And she also has the annoying habit of just. So, on one hand, she says that she does not care about her weight. But then on the other hand, she is like obsessing about it and wondering like what people are thinking, like if she can't make it up these stairs and she's going to do it anyway, because she doesn't want people thinking that she can't do stuff just because she's overweight and um like the way that she dresses and like being attractive and those kind of things. Like she just thinks about it in terms of what other people are thinking about her and because of her weight. So she just goes on and on and on about that. That takes up a lot of the story. And let me see. So I mentioned how she says she doesn't want a relationship, but every man that she meets, she's like figuring out if they can go on more dates and if they want to see her again. And she is just like falling head over heels for people. And it's like, wait a minute, didn't you just say you didn't want a relationship? You didn't want to go out with anybody? And now she's like a boy crazy, like middle schooler. Like it is like the whiplash between like what she says and what she's thinking and her actions just don't make sense. And it's like that throughout the whole story. And the main thing that bothered me is that she's in this mystery, but she is not trying to solve like what happened. It's like, Mrs. Blossom, you're being followed. People are going through your stuff. Um, they're trying to hurt you, all this other kind of stuff. And she's just like, oh, well, like this is concerning, but I'm not going to try and figure it out. It's like, hello, weren't you a private investigator? Like, shouldn't your private investigator antenna be going off like, maybe I should look into this? But she's not trying to look into anything. She's trying to figure out these dates and getting mad at her friend, like being a hater because her friend is actually like found someone to date. So it's like ridiculous. Let's see. Yeah, she made like for her to have been a private investigator, she made some really silly decisions. It's like, lady, like get it together. Like look for clues. Like this is a clue. Like you should know this is a clue. Like how did you not know you were being followed? You used to follow people. You should know when you have a tail or not. So, yeah, this story like just it was all over the place. Like I don't know. I don't know if this deserves another entry. Like I saw some people who liked it, but I don't know. Miss Muriel, she just seemed like too flighty and out of it for me to like believe that she's an investigator who could continue to solve mysteries. Like if this is what you're showing me in the first one, I don't think I want to see anymore. Overall, I gave this, I guess I'm going with 2.5. I may round it up to 3. So, yeah, it'll be between 2.5 and 3 stars. The last book I'm going to talk about today is titled Murder at the Wham Bam Club by Carolyn Marie Wilkins. And this is a cozy mystery slash historical fiction. This was also recommended by Bookmark by Aaliyah. Um, and I will read you the summary. After the death of her husband, young widow Nola Ann Jackson returned to her hometown of Agate, Illinois, to live with her Aunt Sarah, a known local psychic. Nola is asked to look into a woman's disappearance. Lily Davidson, the missing woman, was living at the Phyllis Wheatley Institute for Colored Girls. She vanished after a night at the Wham Bam Club. Nola finds Lily at the club, alive and well. That night, the Wham Bam Club is set on fire, and Lily's fiancé is murdered with a gunshot to the head, leaving Lily on the run as a suspected murderer. So this book, I really enjoyed this story. This is my first book that I'm reading by this author, and I really enjoyed the characters. I liked Nola Ann Jackson. I loved her aunt, um, Sarah. I loved Aunt Sarah, and I liked the magical realism slash fantasy elements that were part of the story, like being a psychic and interacting with like the dead and stuff like that. So I enjoyed those parts. Some of the things I didn't enjoy, I wish they had recipes. Like they talk a lot about food, like Nola Ann. She works as a catering help, and the lady that she works for makes like all these delicious recipes, and they go on and on about them in the story. So I wish some of those recipes were included. Um, the setting is sort of like after Reconstruction, so like part of the Jim Crow era of the United States. So, sometimes that can be hard to read, like how they treated Black people. So that's something to be aware of. And the mystery itself, like it wasn't really that interesting because like the guy who died, like he was really bad news, and it's like, okay, I'm happy he's gone, so I don't care if she solves this or not. Like, yes, I want her to find this missing woman, and she did, but yeah, the guy who died, it's like, okay, so what? I am hoping though that this series will continue because I believe this was like a good like start of a series, like a good way to set up like the characters and to get us interested in more. So I really, really enjoyed this, and overall I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. You made it to the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time. Bye-bye.